Hey, hello students. Again, we are here to discuss the chapter, the 8th standard, first chapter, that is the crop production and the management. So we are discussing about the agricultural practices in which we discussed already in the last class about the weeding or weeds. So what are the weeds? Revise one more time. Weeds are nothing but they are the unwanted plants which will grow together with the crops. Nobody is going to keep the weeds in the crops. They will grow automatically, naturally by naturally. So what they are going to do, they will be very dangerous for the crop growth because they will take the nutritions which we added to the crops, and as a result the weeds will grow much better, and as a result the growth of the crops will be less there. So what the crops were expecting there, that will not be that much quality because of the weeds. So we have to remove those all kind of the unwanted plants in the unwanted plants in your area of the farming. So that's the reason we have to keep our crops as healthy. Okay, so now we will discuss now about the fourth agricultural practice is known as the harvesting, right? So what is meant by the harvesting? So after weeding, the next process comes to the harvesting only. So harvesting is nothing but it is the cutting of the crops after it is matured. Means when the crop is matured, when the crop is matured, what do you mean by matured? When the crop, the grains reach to its maturity state, right? So when the crop is matured, that process, right? That process, the second process is going to the harvesting. Means the farmer will consider that they will see whether the crop is matured or not. Until it will not mature, the harvesting process is not possible, right? So the harvesting is nothing but it is the cutting of the crops after the maturation. Means the crops are the final stage of the farming is the harvesting only, right? So when the crops will be matured, when they will reach to their maturity state, they are going to be cutted, and that process we are going to call as the harvesting. Then how the harvesting is done? Right? In harvesting, the crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. There are two things are there in harvesting. The harvesting can be done with the two methods. First one is pulled out, and the second one is cut close to the ground. Pulled out means you can pull the whole crop plant with the root system, right? Pull out fully from the ground with the root system only. What is mean by cut close? The cut close can be done with the some of the tools like the sickle, right? The sickle we can call as a kudgil, right? Kurpi kudgil and karitir Kannada now, right? With that sickle we can cut close. If it's a crop means you can cut close to the ground, right? So that second process is called as a cut close to the ground. Means the harvesting can be done by the two methods. First method is pull out. Second method is cut close to the ground. It is usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop mature. Means on how much period of time we consider that whether the crop is matured or not. Different crops have the different maturity ages, or they require the different days and the months. So in the same manner, if you take one example of the crop of a cereal, means the cereal crop required around 3 to 4 months for its maturation. Means until 3 to 4 months the cereal crops cannot be cutted or they cannot be pulled out. So that's the reason we have to wait for its maturity. One example is we take the cereal crops. The cereal crop maturation is between 3 to 4 months. It can be asked in a 1 marks question also, what is the maturation or what is the maturation period of the cereal crop? You can tell that 3 to 4 months. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for its maturation. Third is harvesting in our country is either done by a sickle or by the machine called as a harvester. Means if you can afford the harvester machine, you can do, or even the farmers which have a small area or a small farming area ground, they will not prefer to have the the harvester machine. It may take a little bit of the much money. They are going to use the normal traditional method, that is a sickle. Sickle means they will take the a gadget to cut from its ground only. So the sickle is used for the manually, and even we can use the machine. That machine is going to call as a harvester. You may be seen in most of your areas right now. The trend is going using of the machine only. Nobody nowadays are going through this sickling method or the manual of sickling method. In the olden days, we have seen when I am small, I have seen that the women will go to the harvesting time by taking a sickle, right? A sickle is nothing but we can call kurpi, right? That sickle is taken and they will go to the farming sector, and during the harvesting period, they will cut the crops to the ground. So that is the manual method that requires the number of people, but this harvester machine, it will reduce the what amount of the people are required is going to reduce that one. So it can be done very easily and with a short period of time, that called as a harvester. In examination, for 1 marks question, it may be asked, what is harvester? What is a harvester? The harvester is a machine that cut the crops after maturation. You can tell like this also. So the harvester is a machine we can use for the harvesting also. So in our country, we are specially talking about the India. In the India, we are using specially the manual method, that is sickling, and the machine that is called as a harvester. We can use the both methods of the harvesting. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds needed to be separate from the chaff. This process is called as a threshing, and this is carried out with the help of a machine called as a combine, right? And after harvesting, the next process goes to the chaff, or you can call as the threshing. What is threshing means? Simple. What is a chaff? Chaff is nothing but these are the worthless things, or we can say the coating of the grains, that's called as a chaff. The grains will be there, and the grains coating and all the unwanted things will be there. Those all can be separated by the process is a chaffing, right? And that process is going to call as threshing. Means the removal of the chaff from the grains is called as the threshing. It is carried out by the machine. That machine name is the combine. Simple, if you want to tell means you may be seen that the machines are used, or even in those time I have seen that the people will take the long sticks, right? The long bamboos they will take, and as a result they will keep all the harvested the plants in one area. Those all crops are kept in one area, and as a result the people will be there. They will take the long bamboo like sticks, and then after they have to be just hit those all things with one by one. So that was the mechanical method or the manual method the people were going to follow on those time. But nowadays we have the machine also for separating those, right? So whatever the plants is there, the seed coating is there, those all have to be separated with the seed, and the seed need to be separated from those all unwanted things, which we call as the bhusa also in Kannada. That bhusa is going to separate it from the seeds by the method is called as a threshing. The process is called as the threshing, and the threshing is done by the machine called as the combine. Means whatever the crops you will take after harvesting, what you have to do, just simple thing, you put it down into the combine will separate one side the unwanted chaff things, and one side the grain will be there. Means the machine will go to do in the same manner. One side all the chaff will go, the unwanted things will go, and one side all the grains will come and fill there. So that was the process there. Means after harvesting, the second process goes to the threshing, and after threshing, those all crops are put into the combine. The combine will separate the chaff from the grain. That was simple. The farmer with the small holding of the land do separate the grain and the chaff by winnowing, right? Then what do you mean by winnowing? Means the farmers which have the small land, right? They cannot afford the machine called as a combine. So when they have the small area of the ground, then they are going to prefer the method, the common method of separation of the chaff from the grain is called as the winnowing. Simple. Winnowing is nothing but after hitting the grains in an area, what they will do, they will take one of the container. In that container, you may be seen, right? A simple thing. In our India, what the people are going to do, simple, how they are going to do the threshing and the winnowing. I will tell you one simple example. Uh, you maybe know that after harvesting, the people are going to occupy the highways or the roads where the vehicles will move very much. So they are going to take that road and they are going to keep all the harvested crop on the road only itself. When the vehicles will grow from there, go from that, all the grain will be separated and the chaff is going to separate it there. After that one, all the grain and chaff will be mixed together. What they are going to do? After that mixture, they will take in one container, and in which area the air is blowing, in that area they will just do like this. So if it's a all the things which is taken means they will take in that one, and from which area the wind is coming, they will just put like this, right? They will take one container and they will just put like this. Which are the light weights are there, they will go with that wind, and which are the grains will be there, they will fell down only. So that one method is called, in Kannada we say turuvodu, right? Turuvodu ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಆ ಸೈಡ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಇದು ತಕೊಂಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಟೋಕ್ರಿ ತಕೊಂಡಿ, ಆ ಟೋಕ್ರದ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೂರ್ತಾರೆ ಹಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ತೂರಪರಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತಂದ್ರ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಲೈಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿಂದು ಚಾಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದ ಗಾಳಿಗೂ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದ, ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾವ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ವಿಚ್ the people which have the smaller area of the land, they prefer to use the winnowing because it is not used, or it is a very costlier to take the combine, because the one day cost of this combine will be more. If they have the small area of the land means they will prefer of doing the winnowing. What is the winnowing? Winnowing is a method of separation of chaff from the grains. Right? The people used to prefer that method also. The winnowing they can do by the people, and even they can do the combine by separation of the grains and from the chaff also. So this is nothing but it is the harvesting. Winnowing is nothing but just know the dictionary, that is the blow of the wind to separate chaff from the grains. What the chaff means? Chaff nothing but they are the worthless things. So that is the process of the harvesting. So what is the process of the harvesting? First thing is, what is harvesting? After weeding, the second process is the harvesting only. So when the crops will get mature, those crops are going to be cutted. Right? That process is only called as harvesting. Means when the crops are matured, those crops are cutted, that process is called as the harvesting. The harvesting can be done with the two methods, right? One is pulling, another is cutting close to the ground. Remember, right? One is pulling. Pulling means take the crops from its root system. That is the pulling. Second is cutting. Cut the crops nearer, closer to the ground. After pulling or cutting, what we are going to do next process? The next thing is you are going to do. This is an example we taken here. The next thing you are going to do is or even that can be done with the machine also. That the machine is the harvester. We can do with the sickle also, manual method, that the pulling or cutting can be done with the sickle also, or we can use even the harvester, that is the machine. Then after harvesting, what is the next process we are doing? That is the threshing. Threshing is nothing but which are the unwanted chaff is there that can be separated from the grains with the help of the threshing, and that can be done with the machine is called as a combine. The farmers with the small area of the land, they will prefer to have the winnowing. The winnowing is other one of the method of separation of the chaff from the grains. So that is nothing but the harvesting. So sorry, I forgot the number. Actually, the last topic was the fifth, and it is the sixth. Means weed is the 4, fifth is the harvesting, and sixth is the storage. Right? So sorry for that. So what is in the storage? After harvesting, the next very important method is the storage. Right? Then what do you mean by storage? Storage of a produce is a very important task for getting the seasonal foods throughout the year. They are stored in a safe storages. Right. So means the harvesting is not as that important as the storage of the food is there. Means the storage is very much important to get the seasonal foods throughout the year. If consider that the rice will grow in a rainy season, means what about the summer season? How will get the rice in summer season? So it is nothing but getting the proper amount of or the proper crop throughout the year. What we have to do? We have to store the seasonal food. Means if the rice is growing in one season, that can be stored. If the cereal is growing in one season, that can be stored. And the storage will help to distribute the food throughout the year. So the storage becomes a very important task in the crop management, right? Then which factors are there affecting the storages? There are two factors are there which affect the storage of the food. First is the biotic factor and next is the abiotic factor. To clear what is the biotic and abiotic means, biotic means the living factor and the abiotic means the non-living factors, and how the living and non-living factors are influencing the storages, right? Then take about the first one is the biotic factor. So due to the living organisms like insects, birds, mites, bacteria, fungi. So what they are going to do? If you are storing the food in a godown, right? You can see just the godowns are there. In the godown, if you are storing the food or you are storing the food in your house only, in one of the particular chamber or the one of the room is there, you are going to store. Then what happens means the insects, the rats, the mites, what they are going to do? They are going to make the hole of our holes for our the bags in which we are storing them. So means they will decrease the percentage of the grains present there. Means we have to prevent from all these biotic factors. The insect should not attack on them. The rats will be there. These all biotic factors, the fungi. So we have to prevent from these all biotic factors. So that is nothing but the first one is biotic factors. We have to prevent from them. Then the second is the abiotic factor. How the abiotic factors are affecting the storages. The abiotic factor nothing but they are the non-living factors such as moisture, inappropriate temperature. These are the abiotic factors which are affecting the storages. Then how the moisture? What is the moisture? Moisture is nothing but the percentage of water droplet present in our environment or in our atmosphere, that is called as a moisture. If the moisture is more in our environment or atmosphere, what happens means they can attack to our seeds and as a result our seed will fall to the decolorization or loss of the weight. They will turn into the some of the different colors. So these all factors will be there. They are affecting the inappropriate temperature and also the moisture. The moisture is very dangerous. It can even give the smell to the crops also. You may have seen that our crops, they will together become one of the solid thing like this also. That because of the moisture, attack of the fungi, these all things will be there. Means the moisture content is very bad for the storage of the food. Before storing, it is very important to remove the moisture from the grains. That's the reason what the people are going to do. The people are going to just dry them in the presence of the sunlight. You may be seen this process. What is the reason of drying them in the sunlight means remove all the moisture present in the grains. Because without removing the moisture, we cannot store the food for a long period of time. The moisture food cannot be stored there for a long period of time. That is the reason the dry food lasts longer than the foods which contain the moisture. You may be seen the dry fruits are there. The dry fruits can be eaten throughout the year. Why? Because of the moisture is not present there. If the moisture is not there in the food grains means we can store that one for a longer period of time. Means the moisture is again one of the abiotic factors that affects the storages and also the inappropriate temperature. The temperature means it's not only the increase in temperature, that may be even decrease in temperature. So the inappropriate temperature even that may affect the storages. Then what happens by this both factors, biotic and abiotic factors? they can affect the quality of the grains. How they are going to affect? Degradation, the quality will be less, loss of the weight, what the weight the grain have, that weight will not be there because of the attack of the biotic and abiotic factors. Change in color, the grains what the color first have, that color may be changed to the greenish or yellowish, and even the poor germinability. The germinability means they cannot germinate properly in upcoming next time of the harvesting or next time of the crop production. So these all are the factors are there. They are affecting the storages. The means what is the storage? The next important task after the harvesting of the grain is the storage only. The storage is affected by the two factors. One is the biotic factor, nothing but the living factors which are there. The rats, the mites, fungi, these all are the biotic factors which are affecting the quality. And the second factor is the abiotic factors, which are the non-living factors like the moisture and the changing of the temperature, that both are affecting again. After this affecting, what they are going to have? Degradation, loss of the weight, change in color and poor germinability. Then which are the prevention factors are there? Means how the storage, means what are the factors are affecting the storages which are the biotic and abiotic, how we can prevent from the biotic and abiotic factors? Simple. The first method is the prevention methods, right, of storage. The first method, what you are going to do, the grains are properly dried in the sun. The first method is the grains are properly dried in the sun. Means what are the grains are getting after harvesting, this all contain the moisture. How ಹಸಿ ಇರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಇನ್ನ ರೈಟಾ, ಆ ಹಸಿ ಪನ್ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಸಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಒಣಗಬೇಕು. Simple thing. So the first process is dry the grains properly in the sun. What is the need of drying the grains in the sun? To remove the moisture. Simple. It may be asked why it need to remove the, or why it need to dry the grains in the sun, means only to remove the moisture. So when the moisture is removed totally from the grains, that will protect or that will prevent the attack of insect, pests and the fungi. Means the grains which are properly dried, they are not going to be attacked by the insects, pests and the fungi. Simple thing. If you want to keep your food for a long duration of the time, means you have to dry the grains in the sun in a proper manner. Third, farmers store the grains in the bags or even the metallic bins also. So these are the shopping bags or even the different kinds of the bags are there which will be attacked bacteria. Some of the bags will be manufactured in the different factories. They can be used, and even the farmers will prefer to give the metallic bins also. Means which have the metallic containers they have, in that also they can store them. But what about the large scale of storage? The farmers use the bags, jute bags or the metallic bins, but what about the large storage is required? The large storage of the grains in the big godowns, they required to spray the specific chemicals or treat with the specific chemicals to prevent from the pests and the microorganisms. Means if you are storing the food grains in a large godown, so what you have to do? First of all, you have to spray the godown with a particular chemical. Without spraying the chemical, we cannot kill the microorganisms and the pests which are present in the godown. So first of all, what you are going to do? You have to just spray the chemicals that can prevent from these all things. Then after you can store in the godown. We even keep the rat poisons in some areas which the rats are more there. So this all comes under the chemical spraying only to prevent from all the biotic factors. So we have to spray the godown with the chemicals to prevent from the pests and also from the microorganisms. So that is nothing but the storage. So we discussed about the agriculture practices. There are 6 agriculture practices discussed there. Now we'll discuss the final topic of your chapter, that is the animal husbandry. Right? Animal husbandry is nothing but nobody's husband here. Sorry for the joke. Animal husbandry is nothing but it is the scientific management of the domestic animals. Domestic animal means animals which will be in our houses, like the cows, sheep, buffaloes, right? This all hens, so this all comes under the domestic animals. So when we are doing the management of these domestic animals, that process we are going to call as animal husbandry. The lion, tiger, these all are not the domestic animals. They comes under the jungle type. Okay. Domestic means the animals which are we are going to be uh, just we are going to be making them or we are going to protecting them. Cows, buffaloes, the hens, the fishes. So it all comes under the domestic animals. So then nothing but the domestic animals has to provided proper food, shelter, care. When we are providing proper food, shelter, care in the large scale, that is called as the animal husbandry. What is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry is nothing but it is the feeding, caring, and breeding of domestic animals in a large scale. Very simple definition. What is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry is nothing but it is a scientific method of man. It is a scientific management of domestic animals which includes feeding, breeding, caring. When we are doing these all things in a large scale, that process we are going to call as the animal husbandry. Right. So that process we call as the animal husbandry. What is the need of doing this animal husbandry? We have the different benefits there. Like example, we manage even the fish also. What is the use of the fish? The fish is going to be taken as a non-vegetarian, right? In whole the world, the fish consumption rate is very much as compared to any of the non-vegetarian, right? So the fish eating people are more there, and even we can see the fish oil. The fish liver oil is going to be sold in the market, like even in the medicals also, which is rich in vitamin D. Right. Means we have the benefits of doing the animal husbandry. We can produce them and we can take the foods from them. We can even make the different kinds of the things from them, from their wool, from the, these all things will be there that will all include under the animal husbandry. So that is the needs of that's the reason we are going to do the animal husbandry. Simple thing. If you are doing the proper caring, feeding and breeding of the animals in a large scale, that calls or that comes under the animal husbandry. So after this, this is the end of your chapter known as crop production management. We have discussed a lot of the things in this chapter. So we all are, I think that you all are understood this chapter. So this is the end of the chapter. In the next video, we will be right back with the next chapter. So stay tuned and stay home.